So we saw before that after people subscribe to your email newsletter or after they join your email list, you send them 4 value emails. Value email means information that is relevant to them and that informs them, educates them, advises them. So a value email is not a salesy email. Okay, it's not where you're promoting your company. It's where you're providing valuable answers and information and advice to your subscribers. And by the time you send them email number 5, then you're ready to make a pitch. You're ready to sell them on a special offer that is relevant to them. Now, there are different ways for people to buy your product or service, and this is a non-exhaustive list. But for example, your email might contain a purchase link, in which case, after they pay with credit card or PayPal, they can download your ebook or your video course right away. Okay, that's the first and the simplest way for them to buy and get value from you. The second way is for them to call a friendly representative. You put a phone number and they call your sales rep, and your sales rep will have an inbound script and will know exactly how to convert this prospect into a customer. And of course, the rep will answer all the questions and will overcome all the objections, like we discussed in the previous video about the sales process. So this is where they're calling a representative. A third option is for them to book a demo session. So all you have to do is show them the link to your Calendly platform, and then they book a demo, and then your sales representative can do a demo with them on Zoom, or usually it's on Zoom. And at the end of the Zoom session, the rep will close the deal. Okay. Another option is for them to visit your store, but make sure that you tell them to bring the coupon or the promotional code that you put in the email. That way they get a special discount, and also that will allow you to track the effectiveness of different campaigns, right? You can see from the coupon, for example, that campaign number 1 might be more effective than campaign number 2. So the coupon is not just for their benefit, it's for you to track your results from different email marketing campaigns. Okay, so these are just 4 different ways, but there are other ways. But these are the 4 main ways for people to buy your product or your service. So when we talk about the production process here, it's not necessarily manufacturing or something like that. It can be a different ways for you to help your prospects to conclude a sales transaction, and this is the 4 major ways. Now, I just want to add that this is a generic. This is the fundamental or the main process for making money with email marketing. This has been proven time and again, in the sense that when you communicate with your prospects, 80% of your communications should provide value in the form of information, entertainment, advice, recommendations, etc. And 20% of your email communications can be dedicated to sales and promotions. If you increase it to 30% or 40%, you might alienate your subscribers and they might unsubscribe from your email list, and that is catastrophic, right? So you want to be careful. Now, this is a rule. It's not set in stone. It's very possible that your product is so popular, so in demand, so amazing that the first email that you send them, it could be a special discount of, let's say, like 50%, right? A special discount, and it's so amazing that you can legitimately make a pitch email in the very first email. So you have to use your judgment. You have to do experimentation to figure out, like, what is the right proportion in terms of value versus promotional. Okay. Another thing I want to point out is that sometimes in the email number 2, you might invite them to a free webinar on Zoom, for example, and then in the Zoom webinar, you're making a pitch. So in that case, you don't have to wait till email number 5, right? In email number 2, you invite them to a free Zoom webinar, and at the end of the 40 minutes of free and valuable content, you're making a pitch. You just tell it's what we call a soft sales, in the sense that you deliver the webinar. You tell them, hey, if you're interested, you can buy the product right here, but no rush, right? So it's a very soft close, it's not a hard close like email number 5. Email number 5 is when you go all out. You tell them our product is amazing. Here's the customer success stories, and you have only 24 hours. We have a limited supply. So you're really going all out. But in email number 2, email number 3, if you invite them to a Zoom session, it can be a friendly session, and at the end you can tell them, hey, our product is now available if you want to buy it. No rush, no big deal. Okay, so this is just a formula. You can tweak it depending on your situation, your product, your service, but you really have to experiment. But the great thing about email marketing is you can do tons of experimentation. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and ultimately you will find the right proportion of value versus promotion, the right proportion or the right format for the information. Sometimes it's email, other times it's a YouTube video, other times it's an interactive Zoom session. We just don't know. You just got to explore. So my role as a teacher is to teach you what works most of the time, 80% of the time. But you got to figure out like what really works in your specific case. Like for example, here we have four different ways to conclude the sales process. But you got to figure out like what is the best way. Sometimes like you might have a sales page where they can buy and download the product right away. But if you're selling a product, let's say a video course for $495, well, that's a lot of money for a lot of people. So you might give them also the option of calling your friendly representative so that you can answer all their questions, and then they're confident in in paying $495. But if it's a product, it's only $20 or $50, then they can buy it strictly online. You don't have to have a salesperson on standby, waiting for the prospect to call.